Return of the Mount Hua Sect, Chapter 173. Once they get hit, they're bound to move. Spring came to Mount Hua. But hadn't spring come a while ago? No. The spring which came now was different from the spring season. Then what kind of spring is this? Hyun-young looked around with the softest smile and warmest eyes. If he was normally a gentle person, then this would be fine. However, this was a person who normally walked around with bloodshot eyes and a frown on his face that was sufficient to instill fear in the disciples of Mount Hua. There's still money left. Then, with this, we can replace the gate with a new one. A warm smile and gentle energy radiated from Hyun-young's body. It seemed like he was leaving plum blossoms wherever he was walking, and people were worried that he would suddenly attain some realization of Tao and rise to the top. It wasn't just him. Sect leader, isn't the weather so nice today? Rumble. Right. Dark clouds are rolling as if it will rain any time now. Such a beautiful sight. I wish every day was this beautiful. Hyun-jung and Hyun-sang were laughing as they watched the dark clouds coming in. And they too, like Hyun-young, were giving out gentle energy and walking around Mount Hua. What was more frightening was that they looked at all the disciples they were running into with eyes full of love and warmth. The love was oozing from their bodies. It looked like the elders of Mount Hua weren't in good health. Even Eunam would say weird things and laugh, so everyone genuinely worried about what was going to happen to Mount Hua. Why are they all like this? I know they are acting in such a manner since things are good, but how good should things be for them to be like this? The disciples of Mount Hua, who didn't know the full story of what happened, continued to suffer from these weird feelings. And among them, the one who confused them the most was Chung Myung. Chung Myung leisurely walked around the mountain with the expression of a puppy sleeping in peace. However, at least they could understand all of this. But Chung Myung... Huh? You skipped training? It's fine. It's totally fine. Things like that can happen. How can a person work hard every day? Rest. There should be days off for us too. Huh? While I was swaying, the cords I installed on the training hall were broken and you didn't get them repaired. Then just pay for it. Take it easy and take some time for yourself. Did anyone get hurt? Chung Myung was pouring out all his kindness to everyone in Mount Hua as if he had reincarnated as a gentleman. However, the disciples who saw all of this could not act relaxed around Chung Myung. What is with that brat? I don't know. More and more anxiousness kept piling up. I heard people do such things when it is time for them to die. Did he get a disease from somewhere? Get a disease? That bastard? Diseases only come for humans. He is more poisonous than any disease that a human can get. I can relate to that statement. If it was any other day, then the moment they had skipped training, Chung Myung would have come to break their heads. Similarly, if he had heard that the training facility cords were broken and weren't repaired, then he would have brought the broken cords and tied them around the necks of the disciples and hung them from a cliff. And now he was worried if someone got hurt. Did he finally go mad? This has to be a trap. We need to get those things repaired by today itself. If not, tomorrow our heads will be broken. I'd rather get hit than see his face like that. Unable to endure this horrific change, the disciples of Mount Hua decided to ask someone who knew what had happened during the journey. Sayoung! Baekchun Sayoung! What the hell did you do out there? Baekchun smiled bitterly at the second-class disciples led by Baek-sang. What do you mean what we did out there? No matter how we look, everything is strange. No, it is more than strange. It is very suspicious. Chung Myung, he is glad we aren't hurt. Him, the reincarnation of the devil. That is surely a surprise. Baekchun smiled as if it was no big deal. Can it not be because everyone is in a good mood? Right. It can't... Right, it can be that, but it makes us people who are watching them always be on edge. Do not worry, Baekchun said and continued. It is something that is good for everyone, including all of you too. But the thing is, the entire matter is confidential for now, so I cannot tell you. Sayong, do you not believe in us anymore? Baekchun's eyes twitched at the dissatisfaction which came from the disciples, and the second-class disciples flinched. You are complaining about this. Baeksan trembled. No, what is it with these people? Where did that gentle Baekchun Sayong go? He resembles that brat so much now. So much. Baekchun shook his head. Is there someone else who wants to complain? No. Baekchun clicked his tongue and then looked back and said, I will let you know when the time comes. I know you are all curious, but for now, we need to do our duties and wait. Do you understand? Yes, Sayong, but... What now? How were the Wudang disciples? At Baeksang's words, Baekchun's lips changed. This Sayong of yours broke Jinhyun of Wudang. Jinhyun of Wudang? Isn't he the famous sword dragon? Sayong took that person down? Baekchun let out a low sigh. The sword dragon was strong, but he wasn't yet worthy of that title. Even among you, there will be many who can be his opponent. Only Sayong could have done it. We couldn't have. I am not saying empty words. Baekchun looked at his sages. Even if I say it, it will come out weird. At some point, Manhwa became strong. In the past, Manhwa used to tremble at just the mention of the name Jungnam sect, and now it was able to handle the promising disciples of the Wudang sect. It is all thanks to that sly bastard. Then shouldn't Sayong be the one holding the sword dragon title? Baekchun's face contorted. I don't want to take that title. Why? What a glorious title the word dragon is! The title of Manhwa's divine dragon will still be on top of that. That made sense. It wouldn't be good to have a Sajil on top of a Sasuk, even if that Sajil wasn't someone who could be called a human. Anyway, don't dwell on such false claims of being weak and just fasten your training. You should be stronger than what you think you are now. They need to be in their best form when taking the soul vitality pill. Baekchun didn't say that to them. There was no need to say it and get them excited without the pill even being reproduced in the sect. And moreover, there was a risk of the information leaking out from the disciples who got excited by the news. Of course, he also wondered how the information would leak when all the disciples stayed on the mountain and weren't allowed to leave. It was a situation where nobody could talk about it even if they wanted to. Sayong. Is it true that Chung Myung fought with an elder of the Wudang sect on equal footing? Baekchun's eyebrows trembled. I didn't see it. Then... Baekchun's brows slightly twisted. Actually, this was something he couldn't say, but it hurt his self-esteem even more to pretend like he didn't know. I don't know if he was on equal footing or not, but when I reached there, it seemed like the two of them were in a fight, and it was also true that Chung Myung did not have a single injury on him. Then, really? Still, how can... Right, it makes no sense. Their mouths said it wasn't true, but their minds were all speaking differently. If it was that monster, then it was possible. Of course, this was far from common sense, but even common sense would run away if it saw him. Baeksan tilted his head. That makes no sense. No, wait. If you think about it, Sayong took down the sword dragon. Why bring that up when talking about Chung Myung? Maybe Chung Myung was able to play around because the elder has to be like great Sayong and old. Crack. Baeksang realized what he said after the grinding sound came. He turned his pale face and looked at where the sound came from. And in that place was Baekchun. And constantly grinding his teeth, Baekchun moved. Play. Right. You must have thought that, right? Sayong, calm down for... Calm down. Wow, such a nice word. But right now, I want to try doing something else. I want you people to experience what it is like to play with him. The next moment, Baek drew his sword at the speed of lightning and rushed for his sages. And his sages, who were frightened, fled in all directions. No! Why does he have to be similar to him? Ah! Sayong! Sayong! The sword! The sword! It hurts! Yu Yisol, who was watching from afar, shook her head and sighed. In such a situation where warmth was spreading throughout Mount Hua like this, an unexpected person visited the mountain. Chung Myung. Huh? The sect leader is looking for you. Me? Right. You and Jogul too. At Yunjong's words, Chung Myung tilted his head, as if thinking whether there was any reason for the sect leader to summon him. Alright, let's go. He would know it once he went. Chung Myung followed Yunjong without another word, and the three reached the residence of the sect leader, and Yunjong said, Sect leader, it's me, Yunjong. I've brought Chung Myung and Jogul. Come in. Yes. Yunjong carefully opened the door and went in, with Chung Myung following, and quickly checked the people inside. There was no one special, and it was just the usual bunch. Hyunjong, Hyunsang, Hyunyoung, Eunam, Baekchun, and Yu Yisol. Apart from them. Oh? Elder Hwang Munyak, the head of the Eunha, brightly smiled as he looked at Chung Myung. Young disciple, how have you been? Oh, it's been so long. How are you? What would happen? With the help from the young disciple, I am now able to live comfortably. You really look like it. You seem to have gotten younger. Hwang Munyak smiled, but it wasn't empty words. The man did look a lot younger than before. It was as if, after getting up from his deathbed, he had regained his health. His complexion was turning better, and even his hair seemed to be turning darker. The words, looking young, wasn't an exaggeration. Sit down. Yes. All three of them sat without a question, and Hyunjong spoke. As you asked, I have summoned Chung Myung, Eunha Merchant Guild head. What did you want to say? At his words, Hwang Munyak sighed. The reason I came to the sect leader personally was because of the work commissioned from Mount Hua to the Eunha Guild. Were there any problems? Rather than a problem, Hwang Munyak had a slightly hesitant face and with a sigh. Sect leader. He bowed, unable to show his face. I apologize, but with the current power of the Eunha Merchant Guild, I don't think we can fulfill the task Mount Hua gave us. Huh? Chung Myung's eyes widened. What was he trying to say? It cannot be done with the power of Eunha. Hwang Munyak had a bitter smile as he said, I have no excuses. The task Mount Hua commissioned to us cannot be done, not only by the Eunha Guild, but any other merchant guild in the world. Huh? It cannot? Then what of the soul vitality pill? Huh? It couldn't be done? In the eyes of Chung Myung, the flame blazed once again.